stand up with you tonight, and you all would say no if I decided to sing. I guarantee you, it's not my strong suit. So I heard that from a very young age. And also from a very young age, I started my habit of being clumsy, or I like to say I just move too fast, and that's what causes some problems. So since I was in second grade, I've had 4 broken bones, which is not that big of a deal, and they all happened at different times. I've had more of the 3 Bs, the blood, the bumps, and the bruises happening in my life. So I'm going to share a couple of those with you. The most embarrassing one was when I decided to try out a treadmill, and it was a spur-of-the-moment decision, and I'm wearing a sundress and flip-flops. And so before I go into the story, I just want to say I think they should still be called thongs. I don't know why we had to switch. Thongs was a perfect description. The strap that goes between your toe, just like the strap that goes between other places, and they're all uncomfortable, but now they're flip-flops, which made my son really happy because he didn't like it when I'd run through the house. Who's got my thongs? Who's seen my thongs? So flip-flops is a better choice for him. Anyway, back to Sears. There used to be a Sears store, and you could go try out the different equipment. So I decided to try a treadmill, dressed like I said, wearing my sundress and flip-flops. So I get on, and it was set to be, Lord, probably 10 miles an hour, which I couldn't do even if I was wearing tennis shoes. So I'm hanging on to the handles, and I swear my legs go parallel to the floor. I swing back, and I land on the mat, make a crashing sound, manage to turn it off, and I look up, and this young sales guy is walking towards me. Are you okay? What's going on over there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's all right. Don't worry about it. And fortunately, he turns around because I didn't want him to see the ripped off bloody toenail and a little bit of pee that was on the mat. So I just limped my way out of there, and I get home, and my husband asked when the treadmill's going to be delivered, and I said, no, we're not going to be treadmilling this house. That's not for me. So in my life before I was thinking that I should be a stand-up comedian, I was a principal at an elementary school, and one day on the playground, the little 4th and 5th graders didn't freeze when the freeze bell rang. I don't know how you all remember that, but that's a sin if you don't freeze when the freeze bell rings. So I, in my loudest, most authoritative voice, yelled, "Freeze!" And they all did. So I'm like really proud of myself this day at work. So I turn around to walk away, and I bang right into the volleyball pole that I don't know is behind me. And so I turn around and I look at them, and they're all still silent. And I said, go ahead and laugh. That had to be funny. And they did. They all busted up, and then they go home and tell their parents what Mrs. Schroeder did that day. And that meant for the rest of the week, the parents were coming in to verify what color this giant goose egg was that I had on my forehead as it changed colors from purple to green to blue. So that was a good experience for me. And then there was this other time recently when I was in New York City, and I'm walking my fast pace, and this crack just jumps up and grabs my toe, and I end up arcing my body and landing right on my shoulder, and I thought I was okay. I really did. You do that a lot when you're accident prone. You say, yeah, I'm fine, and you just keep going. Well, after I walked for a little bit, I realized that this arm was hanging the way it's not supposed to. So I got in an Uber and went to the hospital, and I'm waiting for this radiologist to come in and x-ray and tell me what's up. So this 12-year-old boy, radiologist, walks in and he says, are you wearing an underwire bra? And I'm like, yeah. And is that your business? And he says, well, it's going to have to come off. And I said, well, it's not. And I got this long sleeve pullover sweater on and underwire bra. So I teach him how to take a bra off without taking your shirt off. And so I demonstrate, you know, you're going to come back here and squeeze the clasp through, and then you take the strap and you pull it down, and it's starting to loosen, so you come around to the side and you pull it out, and then you got to do this next side, and ta-da, he pulls it out. And he was so proud of himself. And he just is kind of like, thank you. And I said, I can't believe they didn't teach you that in medical school. That's something you've needed to know before now. So anyway, that led to surgery that I had in January. And my son volunteered to be the one to take me home because he thinks that it's funny to see his mom on drugs. So he was planning on some good video that he could put on Instagram. So the surgery's over, I'm in recovery, and he is sitting there talking to me, and he says, you know what, do you want me to tell the family and friends and everything that you're okay? And I said, oh, that would be great, because I've made a list. And so I hand him the list of names and my phone, and I tell him, I think you know everybody on this list, except there's one guy on here, it's a man's name you're not going to recognize, and that's because it's somebody I've been dating. And so he just kind of looks at me and he doesn't say much, and I say, I guess that's not the way to find out that your mom is on a date every other Thursday. So anyway, he luckily got out of the room quickly because the nurse came in and said it was time for me to get dressed, and I was worried about what was going to happen in the car on the way home because he's that kind of kid. So we're driving, and he tells me, I let all your girlfriends know, but you can tell your boyfriend what's happening. So I said, okay, I will. We get home, he makes me lunch, and then he says, you need to call your daughter. And I said, oh, that means you've already called her. And he said, yes. So I do call her, and I said, I guess that he's told you I'm dating somebody. She goes, yes. And all I had was his first name, but now I know where he works, where he lives. He's divorced, he has 2 kids, and Mom, he's really handsome. So she played quite the detective. I still haven't figured out how she did that first name only, but she figured a lot of things out. So if you ever need help, she can research people for you. She's really good at it. So the last bit about this surgery is my left hand had to start to do things it has never done before. Babied her whole life and proud of it. So now all of a sudden she had to help me eat. She had to help me try to do my hair and makeup. There's so many things that are awkward if you have not tried to use your other hand. So I just encourage you to practice, because you never know, because whatever hand is not your dominant hand, it's not your friend like you think it should be. So the last little piece of information is physical therapy, and I struggle to say the word therapy because I think it's more physical torture. They think they're helping you, and I think they are, because look, I can do this now, it can go this high, and supposedly someday I can get back to this. But the physical torturist that I have is his first job. He's been working just a few months. I'm one of his first clients, and he sits on this, you know, the rolling chair kind of thing, and he takes my arm and he rolls away from the table, and I'm like, wait, what are you doing? He goes, this is a good stretch. I said, yeah. So I said, so how often, how long, how is this going to work? He says, oh, that's something I really struggled with in physical torture school. I keep forgetting you're supposed to count or set a timer or look at the clock. And I said, okay, then I will be in charge of that. So I am very, I'm still seeing him. He's getting better, but he knows that I will be counting and he will be bringing the chair back sooner than he wants to, because he took it off for way too long. So that's kind of the end of what I have for tonight, and I just want to thank you for listening, and I encourage everybody to say yes and maybe someday you'll get up here and you'll do jokes instead of singing your beautiful music. Thank you.